everybody and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all keeping well and welcome to my Gibraltar Villa save here, my last save on Football Manager Mobile 2017. Now, as you hopefully you've seen in the My Club sign up and the kind of, you've probably seen the little intro video I've done, and you probably would have just seen it at the start of the video just there. I have taken the reins here at Gibraltar Villa. So how have Gibraltar Villa entered the world of footballing in the English league system? So what has happened is, unfortunately for Hungerford Town fans out there, your club has fallen on hard times and unfortunately is no more. The FA were now thinking, you know, what can we do? Should we just promote one team from each division and do it that way? Obviously there's quite a small gap, window gap of obviously getting this sorted and pushed through. So kind of late on towards the, the start of the season, it's only days away, and they were kind of thinking about what to do, and the chairman from my club, Gibraltar Villa, kind of put forth, the fact that, potentially as a British team as such, would we be able to kind of, take this spot in the Vanarama Conference South? We felt we had the right structure about ourselves, the structure to go far, and would even be happy enough to kind of, play our games over in England if obviously the travel over to Gibraltar was just obviously a bit too much for the league system. Luckily, after months and months of consulting, the FA have decided that this was the right decision, and Gibraltar Villa have been took the place of Hungerford Town in the Vanarama Conference South. Looking obviously ahead of the squad here, just a bit of news to go through before we start the episode. The assistant managers give me, not really a detailed report, but just a few key players to look out for here. You can see we've got the Northman, our strongest defender. Jam is looking like to be our strongest midfielder, and Tom FM is looking to be our strongest striker. Now, in terms of transfers, there probably isn't going to be transfers. This is all about developing the Gibraltar kind of heritage of the club, Gibraltar players only. So the only players I can bring in are Gibraltarian, which there's not many players on the database to begin with. Hopefully, on fingers crossed, there might be a few regens, but I can't see much going through. So really, it's just nurturing these players. That's why I kind of made the age restriction at the start of the save to hopefully prolong this as long as we can. I don't think I'm going to get 30 seasons out of it. Very doubtful that they're going to get full 30 seasons out, but we'll see kind of what comes through. Obviously, I think my regens, that my youth prospects are all going to be English, which they probably will be, but hopefully the game might throw a few Gibraltarian regens in. I'm not too sure though. We're going to have to see how that goes. In terms of staff wise, we've got one coach, one physio at the moment, no scouts. So if you've got a CV you want to send in for that, please don't hesitate. Email is in the description down below. Please send all your CVs that way, or just send them over to me over on Twitter at Just M1ke Plays. You've got Jamie Leacock at the moment and Stacey Wood on board. Probably going to leave that as the moment as it is. As I said, I don't think there's going to be any Gibraltarian staff. I will have a look around there and see if there's anything available, but probably not. In terms of money and all that kind of wage budget and finances into the club at the moment, the board are obviously expecting me to battle bravely against relegation, which I think it is. A bunch of youngsters, the eldest player being 20, most of them are kind of 16, 17 year olds, unproven at this level. So rightfully, probably, I think that's probably right. I am going to tell the club that we're going to battle bravely against relegation, but obviously I'm thinking realistically though, I actually probably think mid-table is probably the aim for this first season. The current wage budget, as you can see, 7.38k. We've got actual, they're offering me 12k, which is more than enough for me to work with. Gives me a little leeway of trying to keep players hopefully from being poached. I've also got 7.5k in the kitty as well, which I want to actually just move all that straight away just into the wage budget, which hopefully now you're probably looking at the screen, which is actually now boosted my wages up to 24k per week. So that just gives me a lot of room now to really kind of nail down any contracts that I need to with players that potentially could be possibly getting looks from players at clubs slightly higher than us in that January transfer window. Hopefully we'll be able to entice them to keep with it, because the worst case scenario for me is these players are going to get swiped from me and I can't get them back, and at the end of the day I can only sign Gibraltarian players, which is potentially going to be a downfall of the save. But guys, most of you come here to see what your players looking like. Now, obviously, don't forget that we're all half-star potential, half-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. So the players don't look very good at the moment, but we're kind of going to keep going through, and then I think what's going to happen is probably the end of maybe season 3, possibly 5, not too sure. I might do this thing at the end of every season. I'm going to do a review back and look over the kind of players and how you developed over the season. So we'll go from day 1 in the save, and then we'll look up until obviously the end of that season and see kind of, you know, what's been your key kind of development areas that you've worked well on, and what kind of still we need to improve on. So guys, I do apologise for the length of this video, so I'm going to go through each player. I won't spend too much time on each individual player, but there's going to be no live comp or anything today. It's just introducing the team, so I do apologise about the length of the video. First up, obviously we're going to be looking I'm going to kind of go position by position. I think that's probably the best way to do it. It's myself. So I wasn't actually going to put myself in the save. I was thinking, you know what, you don't need to put yourself in the save. However, we were actually, at one point we didn't actually have any goalkeepers, so it was all just like strikers, you know, attacking midfield players, all these flair players. And then luckily we had a few more defenders coming on board, and I was like, yes, finally getting some defenders on board. So some of the positional plays I've put your kind of main choice, and obviously that's why I asked for a secondary position as well, just to kind of obviously cover the fact if people just weren't filling up a certain position. So I do apologise if you're not going to be playing in your main position, but you know, you're going to take one for the team. You're going to be like a kind of Oxlade-Chamberlain kind of player who's playing out of position constantly, but you're just going to have to deal with it, unfortunately, unless you want to go out on loan. So a few of these players, as we kind of progress throughout the season, before we go, obviously going to, you know, as we're kind of coming up to January, if you really feel your player's not getting enough game time because, you know, other players are playing above and beyond and doing a really good job in the squad, obviously just make sure you kind of comment in the video, and obviously I'm more than happy to kind of loan your player out. And what I will do is each episode I'm doing, I will obviously look onto your player, look how they're doing on their loan, and obviously go through their stats and how you've been performing as well, because obviously I do want to obviously keep every single person involved in the save. Even if you get transferred from the club, I'll be sure to check in on the progress, just so you can see how well you're doing as well. Hopefully we'll all be kind of getting some international caps, which will be amazing. Kind of see how far we can take Gibraltar, if we can actually get them to finally win a match, let alone score some goals. That would be really cool if we could obviously get that to happen. But yeah, so the reason I put myself, as you can see, I'm kind of a multitask player here, is because, as I said, we didn't have any goalkeepers originally, so I kind of thought I'll put myself as a main goalkeeper, but I'll give my kind of self a little bit more variety so I can come out of goal if need be. So I've kind of put myself on multiple positions, as you can see there. Attributes, I mean, they look alright, but I probably won't be playing myself. I won't play myself if I don't have to. I'm the last resort in this one. We then do actually have Arthur Negrescu. Now this is the guy who actually kind of put himself as an attacker at first, but he was very kind enough to kind of change as he's seen people was commenting on the video, and he messaged me and said, I don't mind being a goalkeeper if no one else puts the name forward, which I thought was really commendable. So guys, if you could go and show some support out to him, I have linked him in the description down below. Just go and give him a thank you over on Twitter. Also, he is the gentleman who actually made the amazing logo that you've seen for Gibraltar Villa as well, so please make sure you go over and say a massive thank you to him, and obviously from me a massive thank you for obviously for going in goal for the team, taking a bullet, and also for making the amazing logo that you've seen. I'm not too bad at graphics. Well, I'm okay at graphics, I'd say, but I can't do I don't know what it is, I just can't do logos. He messaged me and said, would you mind if I create a few? So he gave me 3 options. I thought this was the strongest one. The other two were really good as well, but obviously a massive thank you to him. We then move on to the defence. So we've got David Ginsberg here, obviously only 15 years old. So some of you might notice that you're 15. Obviously it's just for the date that we started the save on, from where they chose your random birth date to be. But yeah, 15 years old. High aggression, Dave. That's what I'm going to say. Slightly concerned about, but good pace, which is good for a defender. Obviously, you like to have at least one pacey centre back. It's got the option to obviously play left or right back, which again is good versatility, something the squad needs. Tackling of only 6 though, slightly concerning. Good shooting attribute though of 7. Aerial though 8, that's good for this level. 9 decision making as well, which is key. 7 positioning, 8 teamwork. Creativity, leadership, I'm not really overly concerned about. Leadership would like to be slightly higher. Passing again 3, that's not really ideal for a defender. Hopefully we're playing out from the back at some point. And movement of 2 is slightly concerned, but you know, he's got good strength as well in 10 and decent stamina. We then move on to Steve, the manager. So this is another, you know, person who plays Football Manager at mobile a lot. He plays Football Manager Touch as well. So he's He posts a lot over on social media about his saves. Again, good aerial attributes. He's more kind of a right wing back player. He's got good aerial attributes. Good kind of physicals though. Good strength, good stamina, good pace. Aggression is okay, probably just about normally like 13 is the highest, but 14 is not terrible. Teamwork's good. Technique of 16, and that could be a valuable attribute at this one. So yeah, I don't think that's terrible at all. Quite decent attributes all round. We'll then move on to Flash Plays. Now this is Ash, he's another content creator. You can go and check him out over on YouTube. Flash Plays over on YouTube. Go and check his channel out. He's a fullback, can play left or right back, which again, good versatility. Main choice though, obviously being right back. Really good pace, 16 of that. Stamina and strength, good physicals again. Positioning of 10, which is good. Overall, not bad at all. I think he's definitely one of the stronger players you could see. But obviously, he's vying for a very popular position, which seems to have. I didn't think right back would be a popular position, but it seems to have been fairly popular. We then move on to Fuddled Fox. Probably more predominantly going to be used at centre back, but can play kind of midfield, defensive midfield, and on the right as well, which is good. Good aerial ability, good technique. Obviously, really good stamina and strength. Obviously, that strength being vital to a centre defender. Decent pace once more as well, so it's good that I've kind of got one, a decent pace and strength defender there to kind of sit and hopefully kind of mop anything up that might go past that slightly slower central defender. But yeah, overall 20 years old, so he's a little bit more experienced in the squad. Right foot only, which is the only possibly could be a downfall, but probably at this level definitely not. But yeah, very impressive attributes for Fuddled Fox. Again, he is one of the staff members over on Vibe. He's written some really good content over on the Vibe community. So if you do play Football Manager Mobile and you are over on Vibe, I'm sure you've seen some of his work. He also runs the social media channel for Vibe, as well as creating content over on YouTube. We then move on to Connor McGivern, 17 years old. Another central defender, but has got other options to kind of play. Very similar to Fuddled Fox, I suppose, in a way. And quite similar attributes as well. Decent pace, stamina and strength. Good physicals, again. Technique and aerial ability. Strong teamwork as well. So, yeah, again, another very strong defender. And only 17 years old, so that's very pleasing for me to see. Got a slight ability to use the left foot as well. So that hopefully we can just work on that potentially to get into to be bow-footed. That would be ideal. But, yeah, very impressive. We then move on to the home dressing room. This guy has got a YouTube channel. It's not currently overly active, but I believe he's going through a few things away from YouTube at the moment. But I think he's potentially going to be looking to come back very soon to YouTube. So be sure to go and check out the home dressing room over on YouTube. Again, very kind of versatile player we've got here, which again is something I did ask for and was looking for within the team. I only put the kind of first and secondary options that you guys have gave me, but then for some reason, which I'm not going to moan, the game has decided to give you more, so which again I'm not going to moan about, because that gives me more kind of options when playing players, especially within rotations and cup competitions. It also gives you more of a chance of being included into that starting 11 or starting squad. So as you can see, again, all my players seem to be having decent physical attributes so far, which is really pleasing, because it's something in the game that is slightly more harder really to grow. The other ones you kind of can grow with training, but physicals sometimes can be the kind of ones that are a bit of a pain in the arse to grow. So it's good to see that a lot of our players have got good base physical stats. Aggression's probably a really decent level of 11. Leadership, which is good. So if he's going to be playing that centre back, hopefully he can kind of take ownership there and really kind of lead the club. We've got teamwork of 12, technique of 12 as well. Aerial of 8, tackling again only of 6. So no one seems to be a predominant massive tackler at the moment. It seems to be a lot of really good kind of maybe ball playing defenders, more than just solid grit players who are just at the back and just tackling the shit out of players. But again, another really good attribute to have in the squad is good versatility and attributes all round very pleasing. We then move on to Luke Hasdall, 16 years old. Again, physicals on point, good teamwork, technique and aerial. Kind of seems to be a common theme going with the defenders here. All seem to be kind of based around a very similar kind of attributes, which is going to make it really hard for me to kind of pick a starting 11. I'm going to be obviously in pre-season just jiggling around as much as I can, seeing what's working well. And as I said, if you do really feel like you're not getting enough game time, please just let me know if you're happy to go out on loan for this first season. I'll be more than happy to kind of get you out on loan. And as I said, we'll be sure then I'll be following your career just as I would do if you were in the squad as well. But yeah, another player, got good versatility, can play kind of left back as well, play that defensive midfield role, and decent attributes all round. So well done, Luke. Stav Kobe, I've got Kobe on my team. He's retired from NBA now. This is Kobe's Kobe's son. He just wasn't up to the level of his dad, so unfortunately he's decided that he's not going to waste any more time on basketball. He's come over to play for Gibraltar Villa. He was born in Gibraltar, so it makes him eligible to play for the Gibraltarian national team. Obviously that background story is complete bullshit, but once more, strong physicals, good leadership, good technique, good tackling, decent tackling, 9, so that's something we can work on. Creativity is good as well, teamwork, very, very good. I'm kind of, as I said, I'm noticing a very similar kind of theme around kind of where the attributes have been spread wise, but this one is probably the most well-rounded, I'd say, of the players so far. So obviously Stav's got a good chance of obviously making that kind of first 11 squad. We then move on to Rob Wayne. He's got a lot of reds, not too sure why he's got quite a lot of reds, but to be fair, they're not really reds in areas that I would expect him to have anything other than, really. I'm not really too bothered about his crossing. Dribbling possibly could have been slightly higher. I'd like passing at least to be of a decent level. 2 is very, very low. Creativity, I'm not really bothered how creative you are as a defender. Again, physical zone, really, really good. 15 pace, 14 stamina, 13 strength. Aggression is good attribute to have there. A decent level. It's not a good attribute to have. Obviously everyone has aggression. It's a good level. 10, I would kind of say 13, as I mentioned, is the optimal level I kind of want it. I don't want it above that, really, but 10 is really, really good. Teamwork, leadership, 14, so that's pleasing. Good to have some good solid leaders in the club. Aerial ability of 11 and tackling of 7, so not too bad at all. Then we want to move on to the Northman. So I'm sure if any of you have ever watched any Football Manager content, you've probably heard of the Northman. He's he used to run FM Central. He's actually one of the people who've kind of come out of the FM world into real life football management. He's the manager of Beer Crime FM. Beer Crime FM, that's not right. Beer Crime, I'm not too sure what the ending is. The manager of Beer Crime over in Norway. He lives over in Norway now. He's a real life football manager as well. He's got content. He just started to create content again over on YouTube. I don't think he's doing any Football Manager just at the moment. He's doing a Championship Manager save with Manchester United, and he's doing other kind of simulation games as well. He's also he's written numerous blogs as well, so he's got a plethora of content behind him. Over, I think Paul is probably one of the people I've known for the longest in the community, to be fair. He's been doing it for a very, very long time, and he's built his own community, knocked it down and built it again. So he kind of built quite a big community. Stuff happened as it always does. That went, and now he's slowly starting to build up that community that he had again. So I'm sure you've all heard of him, and please be sure to go and check him out over on YouTube. Again, what can I say about Paul? Slightly high in the aggression, which probably is true to life. He's he's a very aggressive man, constantly throwing insults at people and can't handle them. No, not joking, Paul. Yeah, he's a good lad. Paul is decent pace, which probably that isn't true to life, I can imagine. Decent strength, I imagine that's probably quite close. Stamina, no, not these days anyway. Teamwork, yeah, he's a real team player. His technique, definitely not a 15. That should be at least a 2. But yeah, again, overall, I'm pretty certain he'll be happy as a 15-year-old, which is close to Paul's age, actually. 15. His mental age, I'm obviously on about, not his real life age. That's at least what he's got to be, early 60s by now. But yeah, he's got decent attributes. I'm sure he'll be happy with those at that young age. Obviously got a lot of time to develop, and a good plethora of positions he can play in as well. We then move on to DJam, another content creator. He's doing a lot of vlogging at the moment, so he's vlogging a lot around his local team, Stoham Market, I think it's called. I apologise if that's not the team. So please be sure to go and check his content out as well over on YouTube. It's DJam@M. Again, really, really good to see that he's got a few positions under his belt. 17 years old, good physicals, good-ish aggression. I mean, again, very well rounded. Can only use the right foot, but he's a left back, which could be an actual, could be a game changer, especially as we kind of develop on. But hopefully, he kind of will be able to develop that left foot. But the ability to kind of come in on his right hand foot could be something we could utilise as we kind of progress throughout this save. But again, I've not really got any really bad players at the moment. No, I don't think there's kind of any players that are going to shine and be any better than anyone else. We're kind of all at a very similar level, so we kind of will be seeing a lot of similar attributes about. But it's kind of just you guys showcasing your players to you, and you kind of seeing what they're at and kind of where we want to take each other. We've got Dazza FM, who's just starting his kind of road to building back some content over on YouTube. I'm assuming it's Dazza FM over on YouTube. I know he's just had a rebrand, but I'm pretty sure that's where you can find his channel at. 18 years old, again, a right-footed left wing-back player. Good physicals. And yeah, very similar to kind of everyone here. I know I'm repeating the same thing over and over again, but I don't know what else I can say. So really, I'm just trying to showcase you guys what your player looks like. We then move on to Mr. Steaky. I'm really sorry if I've butchered your name. Very, very good physicals, this one. 10 pace, 19 stamina though, and 14 strength. Can kind of play anywhere on the right really, and a few central positions. What can I say? You can see it on the screen, can't you? Very well-rounded indeed. I've realised I've said the word very well-rounded, and good physicals. A lot. I kind of, when I watch my content back, sometimes I do realise that I said the same thing over and over again. But in this one, it's probably going to be more than usual, because there is a lot of kind of similarities between every single player. We move on to Brian Carter here, 18 years old, slightly high aggression though, 18. You know, still positive on the physicals. I'm trying to think of different words to say, but I can't. Not too good on the tackling front, so I don't think he has got ability to play that central back position, but I don't think we're going to be playing in there, especially with that kind of positioning and tackling not looking the best. But good teamwork, good leadership, good aerial ability, so potentially could be threats from crossing in, although I'm not too sure where I'm going to be playing at the moment. He might be out on kind of on that left hand side, although he has got the ability to play up front as well. Right, on to the next player. We have his brother. It's not his brother. I don't think it's his brother anyway. Ben Carter. Now Ben can play in kind of that attacking midfield role on the right and on the left, but he is right-footed only. Got 20 technique and 18 pace. He's electric at this level. That is going to be something that we can hopefully look to exploit against some of them older, experienced defenders. We can look to kind of get Ben in behind, knocking balls over the top to kind of get him in behind the defence. Hopefully to kind of put it on, you know, whip a ball into the middle and get some players at the end of it. Obviously the only downside is 7 crossing. I don't think actually for this level is terrible. You know, it's not, I kind of would like it to be maybe 9, but 7, it's not terrible. So hopefully, as I said, knocking the balls over the top, Ben can run onto them and get something kind of, you know, anything into the middle of the box, and hopefully we can get something finished there. We then move on to Nomi Khan, 18 years old. Really good physicals here. 11 pace, 16 stamina and 16 strength. 16 aggression though isn't ideal, but good aerial attributes, so he could be a player again who could be getting on the end of them crosses, coming in from a slightly deeper position, that maybe number 10 role, and getting on the end of them crosses that maybe Carter's producing out on that kind of right hand side. But as I said, until we kind of play the pre-season, I'm not too sure who's going to be starting in that starting 11. Callum Sky now. Callum has got a YouTube channel as well. I think he's going through a rebrand at the moment. It was, I think it was Sky Plays, but now I think, I'm not really sure. I think it's SO, but he's definitely got a YouTube channel. He was creating Football Manager only content, but now he's kind of gone into kind of just almost vlogging without vlogging. If you kind of, I suppose I'd say, I don't watch this man's content, by the way, but it's the only thing. I've watched a very few videos purely because I don't like him, and sure some of you do like him. He'll never watch this video, so it doesn't really matter. But Leafy, it reminds me of that kind of thing where he's just commentating over gameplay about things that happen in his life. So it's kind of like vlogging, but without the actual vlogging bit. Just talking about things that have happened in his life. But yeah, again, very well-rounded. Got good aerial abilities, good teamwork, good leadership, decent physical attributes, good passing as well. 9, which is again very good for this level. 9 is kind of like the one that I'm kind of looking at, kind of the areas. But again, the other attributes aren't really that far. Tackling, which I'm not really too worried about from the kind of position that he'll be playing in the team. But other than that, yeah, probably one of the better ones definitely so far. We've then got Mohad Asraf. So this is Ash HD. He's got a YouTube channel. I believe he mostly creates content around FIFA Mobile. So be sure to go and check him out over on YouTube. One of the weaker ones, I'd say, purely because he's got a kind of, you know, the orangey brown colour attribute in the physical. But again, 14 pace, that's really good for this level. 10 stamina, 10 aerial abilities, and then that's kind of about it. But you know, you can see though, if you look at the kind of attribute he has got though, 8 7 7s, 6 7s, 9 9, all the rest of them are really good. Passing, not ideal. Tackling, I'm not really too bothered about. Positioning needs work, but other than that, very well rounded. I'd probably say he's the most rounded player we've probably got, in terms of he's very close to kind of getting a lot of them attributes up to that next level. Obviously, as soon as he reaches 10, they turn blue. So I think potentially he's going to be one of the quicker players to kind of develop on. And obviously, 19 years old, you know, he's got a shorter space time frame to do it in, but you know, I'm sure he's going to be very, very useful throughout this save. Obviously, he can play kind of either side as well as playing up top. We then got Tom FM. Tom has got a YouTube channel as well, obviously predominantly football manager content, so be sure to go and check Tom's channel out. Got good crossing, which is good dribbling, good technique, and good physicals. He could be a massive asset to us, and I can kind of see why they kind of pinpointed him as one of the better players, our strongest strike player in this, because he has got something about him which is you know, we're going to look to definitely aerial, again, only slightly off there, 9. I think he could be absolutely huge for us this season. Either footed as well, can kind of play anywhere on that front line, which again, it could be massive for us. Good versatility, 19 years old. I think Tom FM is going to be one of the star players, and again, he's got attributes that are very close, kind of ticking over to that next kind of level. So his development is going to be key for the team. And I mentioned earlier that there's probably no star players, but I've got a feeling Tom FM could be one of the better players who we've got to really kind of narrow down a contract. We've got him until 2018 already. Hopefully no big clubs will come in. We've got to really kind of, you know, just do things about, you know, quietly under the radar. Don't make too much noise. We don't want to get these players pinched offers, but I think Tom FM is going to be one to watch in this one. Then got Jonathan Age. Jonathan Age has been in numerous of my attempts at doing these kind of saves. He's going to be kind of my player, potentially out on the right hand side. 18 pace, 20 technique. Again, very similar to, who was it? Who was the player who we had who was very similar? Was it one of the Carter brothers? I think it was Ben Carter, I believe it was. I think he looks a very similar type player to him. So if he was on the left, we had Jonathan Age on the left and maybe Ben on the right, or vice versa. That could be lethal. So I might look at possibly potentially getting one of the players trained up on the left hand side as quickly as we can, because I don't believe Ben was eligible to kind of play there as well. I can't remember. I think he might have possibly had an unconvincing, so I think it was like orange or yellow over there, but I'm not too sure. So that could be quite interesting playing both of them players. Again, Jonathan's got some attributes that are very, very close to ticking over there. We've got aerial, dribbling, shooting, decision making, movement, all very, very close to kind of ticking over to that next bracket as well. So again, his development could be really key. That could be really dangerous actually. Carter on the left, Age potentially on the right, but it depends on what formation I'm really playing as well. Then move on to, fuck's sake, to Sean Campbell. Oh, that's actually not too bad. Sean Campbell. Oh yeah, I thought that name looked a lot harder than it was, but it wasn't that bad. 20 technique, good pace, good physicals, decent movement, and good dribbling as well. Again, he's kind of one of the players going to be playing that number 10 role if I do decide to play a formation with a number 10 role, and it just sitting behind strikers or striker. But yeah, again, good all-rounded attributes, and again, Age is on his side. We then got so this player actually put his name as Hayden FM17. I'm really sorry, Hayden, but I did try to change it around just purely for, I probably should have done it on a few more as well, just purely for the commentary purposes, because it all just kept saying FM17. So I just thought I'd just change it to FM17 Hayden. I hope you don't mind. If you do, well, there's nothing I can really do about it. But obviously, just as it kind of just comes up on the screen now, so Hayden scored, and I can commentate a little bit easier. I probably should have done it on a few more players, as I mentioned, but I didn't because I'm dumb. But yeah, hopefully, please don't hate me. Either footed, can play, you know, kind of midfield centrally or out on that right hand side. Yeah, very well rounded. Again, I've realised I've probably said very well rounded 20 times, maybe even more. Getting into the latter kind of players now. I do realise that this video is probably going to be really long, but this one is somebody I'm sure every single person watching this video has heard of. Keepers. If you haven't checked out Keepers on YouTube, then I don't know what you're doing with yourself. He's got an amazingly in-depth Celtic save. If you ever want to learn anything about Celtic, go over to his channel, because he has this really interesting little intro to every single video where you just have a little bit of a history lesson. Very solid content creator, and somebody I've known for quite a while now, and is a top lad, and couldn't recommend him highly enough. But Keepers, again, probably going to be one of our strikers, I'd probably say, but looking at his attributes, I'm not too sure. He probably again could play in that kind of attacking midfield role. Decent physicals, good technique, good decision, good leadership. Potentially could be looking to be a future captain of Gibraltar. But yeah, again, them attributes are there or thereabouts for kind of just ticking over to that 10 mark as well. So I think he's going to be vital to the team, and we're looking forward to seeing how well he develops. And last but not least, a lad who again I think has been in one of my previous My Club saves, Thomas JMP Army, 18 pace, that is blistering for this level. Kind of, I think he's looking to just play as a striker. 9 shooting, which again, 9 dribbling and 8 aerial. I think that's pretty good with 15 technique. He could cause a lot of problems at this level as well. So it'll be really interesting to see how well he just perform in the pre-season friendlies. Talking about pre-season friendlies, let's just have a quick look at what we've kind of got on the card. So when I join you back in the next video, it will be kind of against the first live comp against St Albans. Obviously, there's only been no transfers in and maybe some transfers out. Hopefully not though, unless if it's just loans that you guys might want to be loaned out for. But yeah, we've got Boreham Wood, North Ferriby, Portsmouth, which potentially could be a hard one, and Floyd as well. So I'm definitely looking for 2 victories, a draw, and maybe the loss against Portsmouth in that one. But fingers crossed we can do slightly better. So it'll be really interesting. I'm really not too sure about how I'm going to kind of be structuring the episodes at the moment. That hasn't been decided. It's going to be a work in progress, and it really will need your guys' input on this one, to what you're enjoying seeing, what you kind of want to see in the videos. Obviously, I am very mindful that this video is dragged on for probably way too long, and I'm very surprised if any of you are still watching. And if you are still watching, please just drop the word pizza in the comment section down below. But yeah, I kind of want to keep them short and snappy and keep the, you know, it to a minimal. I don't want the videos to be overly long because you won't want to watch them, and Football Manager Mobile is not the most enthralling game to watch. So yeah, I'm not too sure how I'm going to do it at the moment, but I'm going to be working with you guys to make the best content I can do for this last save on Football Manager Mobile. But guys, that probably wraps up today's video because I've rambled on for far too long. If you have enjoyed this one, then please don't forget to show your support by dropping a like on the video. I have been Just M1ke Plays, and I'll speak to you legends soon.